Thank you for your interest in Kooker products. We appreciate your business. First time frying a turkey can be intimidating, but with the right equipment in this easy walkthrough, we're going to make sure you know what you're doing. First step is assembling the cooker. Open your package. This is model number 12 RTF. It has an easy assembly, as is a welded stand. Take out your lid. Cooker stand. Lifting hook. Sorry, turkey rack. Cast burner. Three manuals. Make sure to read through the manuals and understand all instructions before using. Timer hose and regulator. "12" deep fry thermometer. Lifting hook. And 29-quart pot. And heat plate. Now that your components are unpackaged, take your cooker stand and turn it upside down. Take your cast burner and remove the nut. You want to make sure to orient the burner so that the lighter hole is facing the front of the cooker. Then you want to take your heat plate, put that on the portion of the cast burner that's protruding. Reinsert the lock nut. You will need an adjustable wrench to tighten. Now, take your timer hose and insert 2 AAA batteries. It will say plus and minus. Orient them the appropriate way. Snap the battery cap back on. When you press the power button, you should see a light to let you know that it's operational. Flip your cooker stand over. Take the threaded male pipe end of your hose and insert it into the threaded cast burner hole. You will need an adjustable wrench to tighten. Now that your cooker assembly is complete, take your cooker stand and assembled hose, heat plate, and cast burner, and set up to cook. You want to make sure you are 10 feet from any combustible surfaces. You always want to cook on a non-combustible surface, and you want to be at least 25 feet away from any gases or flammable vapors. Next, we're going to connect our timer hose to our propane tank. turn the type 1 connection, which is this black knob, clockwise to tighten. You want to make sure your regulator is set to off and also your propane tank is off. You want to turn on your battery operated timer by pressing the power button. Now we turn on the propane tank first. Turn it towards open, turning it counterclockwise. Next, you turn the regulator towards the on clockwise rotation. You will not hear gas flow. The gas begins to flow when the timer set red button is pressed. Turn your regulator back off. So now we want to check and run a quick leak test to make sure there's no leaks and no issues before we begin frying. You get a soapy water solution and a barbecue brush. And you want to test both fittings. Test at the type 1 propane tank connection, which right now should begin to majorly bubble if there is any gas leak, because the propane tank is on, as well as the regulator. There are no bubbles, so we're good to go on that end. Now, you want to check your fitting connection. In order to check that one, you will need to press the red button. Turn your regulator on. There is no excess bubbling, so we're tight on that end. Turn off your regulator. Turn your regulator back on. Get a little more of the soapy solution. We want to check the fittings. The connection right behind the regulator and the timer device, and the connection right behind the timer device and the hose. You want to ensure there is no gas leak before you begin cooking. We have no problems, no excess bubbling, so we will turn it off. Now you're ready to fry. Now you want to bring over your turkey pot. Place it center on the cooker. Remove the lid. It is important to never fry with the lid on. You've used the lid in case there becomes any type of precipitation or rainfall to turn off your cooker and cover the oil, or also if you ever have any type of a grease fire. You would cover your pot to extinguish the oxygen and turn off your cooker. Take your lid and set it over by your propane tank so it does not overheat in case you need it. Take your 12-inch deep fry thermometer and remove the plastic tip on the end. Stick the thermometer down into the pot and make sure the clip is secure. You want to make sure the thermometer is going to be in the oil and not in the cavity of the turkey, as you will get a false reading and your oil could heat much higher than your thermometer is reading. Now we will add the oil. Now you take a 3-gallon of any of your favorite type of fry oil. We prefer a peanut blend, as it adds added flavor as well as allows for a high smoke point, which is good with frying. This oil is going to get very hot, so the hotter you can get it without any issues, the better. You want to pour your oil into the pot, and our pots are marked with a maximum fill line. You do not want to exceed the max fill line. Make sure the amount of oil that your turkey will need. Larger turkeys need a little less. Smaller turkeys need a little more, but you do not go over the max fill line. If you're unsure about the amount of oil you need, place your turkey in the pot and test it by filling it with water first. This pot can handle up to a 20-pound turkey. The best frying size is between 14 and 17 pounds. Now you're set for frying. We'll come back and light the cooker in a little bit. We're going to go prep our turkey. Never leave your turkey pot full of oil unattended, and also never put an empty aluminum pot on a cooker without liquid inside. You will burn a hole through your pot. The nature of aluminum, it cannot be heated without liquid in it. So we want to prep our turkey for frying. You want to make sure your turkey is completely defrosted. Our turkey here is 14 pounds. You want to fry a 14-pound turkey at 3.5 minutes a pound, so that would be 49 minutes would be our fry time. And it's best to make sure to keep a notepad with you and write down your time, 49 minutes, as things do tend to get away from you. Now we want to make sure, if you buy a frozen turkey, which this one was, you need to defrost it overnight, allow for at least 24 hours for a defrost, if not more, depending on the size of your turkey. You can fry up to a 20-pound turkey in our unit, up to a 20-pound turkey. Next, you want to remove anything that is inserted into the turkey for baking, such as your baking plug. This will normally pop in your oven to let you know the turkey's done. You don't want that in a fryer. It will melt into your food. Also, the legs usually have a plastic wrap that you want to remove. As well as any innards. There usually is a bag as well. And make sure nothing is blocking the cavity, as now you will take your turkey hook, make sure legs are up. It's important to have the legs up so as when you put your turkey into the oil, the body cavity fills with oil to help disperse it. Now that the turkey is sitting on the hook, take some paper towels and blot it to get any excess moisture off of the bird. You don't want any ice crystals or any cold water going into the oil that you can prevent beforehand. Also, you may want to remove the tail, as it doesn't typically look too appetizing. Now we're going to use your 96348 seasoning pack. This comes with garlic butter marinade, 2-ounce injector, and also our King Kooker Cajun seasoning. Injector, marinade, seasoning. The marinade works best if you're doing this by yourself to pour into a disposable cup, whereas not to contaminate the rest of the marinade if you don't use the entire package, because your injector is going to go into the turkey and then back into the marinade. is a quick setup for the seasoning pack. Take your injector tip, remove the plastic end, then screw it right into the threaded tip of the injector. Cajun seasoning, remove the top, peel off the seal, reapply, and ready to go. Now you want to inject all the major points of the turkey. You want to inject the legs on both sides, you want to inject 2 points in the breast, and then you want to inject any of the fatty parts in the back that you can. Now we're going to fill up our injector with the garlic butter marinade. And when you inject the turkey, you try to go or make as less of holes as possible, because once you inject, if you stick further down, your garlic butter will keep shooting out. So you don't want your turkey to look like a pin cushion. Try to have some precise points. Usually 2 in the breast, and then if you can get 1 in the middle, a little lower. And then in the leg. A little more marinade. Depending on the size of your turkey, you may not need the entire bottle of marinade. So you want to put it in the cup for injecting. The nice thing about injecting is you can't mess up. The more flavor, the better. Try to find a couple fatty spots on the back. And that's it. Now, take your Kooker Cajun seasoning, and sprinkle all over your turkey. You want to get outside, inside. You want to coat it very generously. And it's easier on the turkey rack as the turkey doesn't keep going into the juices from the bag, losing your seasoning. You want to get as much Cajun seasoning as you possibly can on your turkey. I use the whole bottle. So to do it right, depending on the size of your turkey, you probably will use everything in your 96348 seasoning pack. Now the bird is set, we're gonna get our fryer ready. We said before the bird is 14 pounds, so we have 49 minutes to fry. You wanna get your fryer lit first, remove your lid. That was on there just to prevent anything from falling in the pot while we're prepping the turkey. Set that on the side so we don't overheat. Now we're ready to fry. Make sure our propane tank is still open. Regulator should be set to off. You need to turn it clockwise to the on position. Make sure your timer device is still powered on. Press the black button to make sure. If there's no lights, press it again. You should see lights to ensure that it's on. Now, hold down and press the red set button to initiate gas flow. You hear the gas flowing? Light up the unit. Hold down the button for just a minute to ensure that ignition remains on. And now, we're ready to fry. You want to get your temperature up to 350 degrees. Nothing more to do now than wait for the oil to get hot. Every 15 minutes, your timer will blink to let you know it's time to reset. At any time, press the set button and the timer is reset. If it is not reset, gas flow will shut off. This is to ensure that someone is monitoring the product at all times. You want to monitor your temperature. As you see, we're at almost 300. You want to be at 350 degrees. The reason you don't want to cover the pot is you want to be able to see the oil in order to monitor the cooking process. You want to make sure that nothing is smoking. You want to make sure that the tip of your thermometer is into the oil and not into the turkey body once you put the turkey in there, because the turkey is still going to be cold. It could give you a false reading. You want to monitor the cooking process at all times. Do not fry with the lid on. So we're now at 350 degrees. We are going to get ready to fry the turkey. Now it's important when frying the turkey that you use protective coverings on your hands. We sell the 2015 GB, which is a 16-inch leather glove. Turkey is done properly. This should ensure that you will not get any burns. Now we want to pick up our lifting hook, which you may need to remove the glove to get into your hand. Hook our turkey, carry the pan underneath, hold the weight in the hook so that you don't drift the entire way. Now we're ready to lower our turkey into the oil. You want to lower your turkey into the fryer slowly. Your temperature will increase. You want to go slow and allow that body cavity to fill with oil slowly. People make mistakes by going too fast and having the oil disperse without filling into the body cavity. When that happens, you could have an overflow. It is very important to go slow. As you see, the oil is going to bubble and come up, and this process can be very intimidating for people the first time they do it. But if you do it right and safely, there is nothing to worry about. You want to keep going slow, allow the body cavity to fill up. The oil will bubble. And that is a full bird So the oil is going to get into almost a frenzy as far as frying. But you go slow and easy, allow the oil to cook, and settle back down. I have still not released the turkey 100% into the oil. Still going down. Still, and you can hear the oil, how it frenzies up and then settles down. When it settles down more, you keep going lower. As new parts of the turkey enter the oil, it's gonna sizzle and frenzy back up. You just wait a moment, wait for it to die down, and now we're all the way at the bottom of the pot. Take your hook out of the turkey rack and release it. And as you see, your temperature is going back to 350. You want to monitor it at all times. Make sure you don't go over 350. Make sure to monitor the turkey while cooking. As you can see, we're still at 350 degrees. And it's looking good. We've now reached our desired cook time, so we want to check the turkey for doneness. First thing you want to do is turn off the gas flow by turning off your regulator counterclockwise. Then you turn off your propane tank by turning clockwise to the closed position. Now, you want to put back on your protective cooking gloves. Take your turkey hook and drip pan so you don't drip to your prep table. Very slowly pull up your turkey. You want to watch not to hook on your deep fry thermometer. Let it drain for a second. And then go over the pan. This is the safest way to drain your turkey. You don't want any device to hold your turkey above the oil in case anything were to fall in the oil to prevent splash or splatter. You want to remove the bird from the pot for draining. Now we're going to walk to our prep table. Next, you want to cut into the joint right next to the leg and the body cavity to check for doneness. If all the juices are clear and no red blood or red liquid is showing, then your turkey is done. Turn your turkey for the best presentation and remove the rack. Set your rack somewhere to cool. Then get your carving utensils ready. This is our fork, the 14101 model number, which does a great job for holding parts of the bird while you cut. Also, the other accessories, such as our knife and tongs I'm about to use, are in our tailgate case pack, the 1660. You remove your legs. Separate the wing. And then you should have easy cutting on the breast. And this is why King Kooker lets you cook like a king.